All right, we're coming up on 12:30 now, just about a minute away, but we do have some breaking news for you out of Polk County. Right now, the school district asking parents and guardians of children at Floral Avenue Elementary School to come and pick up their kids. That's because there's a crash near the school, and that means crews have to shut off the power. And they say it's not clear how long the campus is going to be without electricity. So what they're doing is moving the students over to Bartow High School, to the gymnasium there. And they're going to do that for now. This is not an emergency. They say there is no rush for parents, but they say it's just best for the students' comfort if the parents can just come and pick them up instead. All right, turning to weather now, let's get over to meteorologist James Hopkins with your weather impact forecast. James, it is warm out there, so those kids would be hot if they don't have air conditioning with the electricity out.
Yeah, it's warm and it's a little on the humid side as well, with these temperatures already in the low to mid 80s across the area. Take a look around and you can see here, we do have a few clouds out there. You can always see when those thick clouds start to build that is some of that humidity there. Look at Clearwater Beach. Look how beautiful that looks out there. Got a lot of people out there enjoying it. We're coming up on, it's going to be another week till we get to spring break. And then again, we got 6 weeks of a lot of people going to be on that beach. Take a look out over Benchmark International. And again, you can see those clouds out there, but mostly sunny skies and warm 83, but 83 feels like 86. So again, you're starting to feel a little bit more of that humidity out there with the dew point at 69 right now. Temperatures low to mid 80s across the area. So again, feeling more like late spring instead of where we're supposed to be. 77 is your normal high for this time of year. We got our flow out of the west-southwest. You see, kind of looking a lot like yesterday, except for nothing popping up on the radar like yesterday. By this time, we were already seeing those showers in Polk and Highlands County. So what we have is our flow, and you can see there we're getting a few wind gusts, but most of our winds are between about 5 and 15 miles an hour, a few gusts into the teens and 20s. And for the rest of the day today, it's going to be nice. So, get a low chance of maybe a stray storm here and there. We'll top out about 87. And your weekend looks good, mid to upper 80s. A little bit better chance for a few late day storms on Saturday. I'll outline that for you coming up.
All right, James, thank you. Well, the conflict involving Iran is intensifying, with the U.S. and Israel launching new strikes on targets inside the country. U.S. defense officials say President Trump has ordered the military to destroy Iran's ballistic missile capabilities, while Iran continues firing back with drone and missile attacks all across the Middle East. Today, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth will meet with the president in the Oval Office after his visit to MacDill Air Force Base on Thursday. And CENTCOM did release this video showing us the U.S. taking out an Iran drone carrier. It's one of the many strikes that Hegseth calls devastating to Iran during Operation Epic Fury. Hegseth says the U.S. is not letting up.
Iran is hoping that we cannot sustain this, which is a really bad miscalculation for the IRGC in Iran. You see, there's no shortage of American will here. We've got no shortage of munitions. Our stockpiles of defensive and offensive weapons allow us to sustain this campaign as long as we need to.
Israel's military chief says it's moving to the next phase of the war with Iran after carrying out 2,500 strikes. President Trump says the U.S. military is far ahead of schedule. Now, the conflict in Iran comes 35 years after Operation Desert Storm and Desert Shield. And this morning, the Veterans Council of Hillsborough County marked that anniversary with a special ceremony. Veterans from the 1991 Persian Gulf operations received awards in recognition of their service. All right, your time now is 12:33. We want to take you back out live to Chicago for the funeral services for the Reverend Jesse Jackson, who died last week. People are coming into the service as we speak, and there have been quite a bit of music and performances. Also expected to be there, 3 of the 4 living former U.S. presidents that were planning to be speaking, President Barack Obama, President Joe Biden, and President Bill Clinton, all expected to speak today, as well as Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois, and several performances from big stars Jennifer Hudson, B.B. Winans, and the Reverend Marvin Winans. And can we take a listen in just for a moment and hear what's happening? All right, and we are just taking a look in now, right now, at the funeral service for the Reverend Jesse Jackson. We'll be keeping an eye on it for you throughout the day, and of course, let you know what happened, wrap it all up later this evening. Now to the latest on the first major personnel shakeup in President Trump's second term. Kristi Noem ousted as Homeland Security Secretary. Jared Hill has a closer look at why White House sources say Noem's drama led to the change.
Just 20 minutes before Kristi Noem took the stage in Nashville.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you?
Introduced as Secretary of Homeland Security, President Trump posted on social media a change in her role, moving Noem to Special Envoy for the Shield of the Americas. It's the first major staffing shakeup of Trump's second term. An administration source tells CBS News replacing Noem was, quote, based on the culmination of her many unfortunate leadership failures. Among them, the fallout over how she falsely described the actions of 2 Americans killed by immigration officers in Minneapolis earlier this year.
It was an act of domestic terrorism.
She's a living, breathing article of impeachment in terms of the abuse of power and the corruption.
Sources also cite this series of ads.
I'm Kristi Noem.
Starring Noem and clocking in at $220 million. Some of that money went to a company run by the husband of Noem's former spokesperson, all raising eyebrows for even some Republicans during her Senate hearing this week.
Did the president know you were going to do this?
Yes.
He did.
But President Trump said to Reuters, I never knew anything about it.
The president, when he called me Tuesday night, the night of the hearing, when he was mad as a murder hornet, he asked me what I thought about Mark Wayne.
That's Mark Wayne Mullen, the junior senator from Oklahoma, a former rancher and MMA fighter.
We're going to get Department of Homeland Security making sure that we stay focused on protecting the homeland.
Now President Trump's nominee to take over DHS. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And Mullen still has to pass Senate confirmation. The details of Noem's new role are not clear, but the Shield of the Americas is a new coalition of Latin American countries. In her remarks, Noem thanked the president for her new job. Well, Florida lawmakers could be going into overtime again. House Speaker Daniel Perez says it'll be difficult for the legislative session to end on time, and it's the second year in a row that the House and Senate cannot agree on a state budget.
We have a fundamental disagreement on what the budget should look like for the state of Florida. The House believes we should spend less money. The Senate believes we should spend more money. I am concerned with the future of the state of Florida.
Lawmakers are scheduled to end the 60-day session on March 13th with a targeted budget deadline of March 10th. Now, you may remember last year's legislative session was extended by 45 days to pass the current fiscal year's spending plan. Passing a state budget is the only constitutionally required job of the legislature. Now, Tampa is moving closer to using cameras to cite speeding drivers in school zones. City Council approved piggybacking onto Hillsborough County's contract with a private company that installs the cameras. Supporters say the cameras are working, with deputies reporting an 85 to 90% drop in speeding near schools, but critics are arguing that they raise privacy concerns and create confusion about enforcement times. Meanwhile, lawmakers in Tallahassee are considering changes to clarify the rule and make it easier for drivers to challenge tickets.
In Hillsborough County, when it comes to school bus cameras, folks have had a difficult time in challenging these infractions, these tickets. It's just simply not a fair process.
The House version passed on the floor, but it has not made it for a full vote in the Senate, and the regular session does end next week. Nearly 1/4 of workers age 50 or older are concerned about losing their job within the next year, according to new research with AARP. Allison Gormley has advice for job seekers, including how to use AI tools and get your resume past screening technology.
It's a response that Brenda Edwards is tired of receiving.
We have other applicants who have a background and experiences that more closely fit our needs for this particular position.
The Carmel resident said she spent more than a year looking for work in quality assurance or technical writing.
I actually make sure software works before it's released. I make sure there's no bugs and make sure it's built according to requirements.
Edwards estimates she's applied to hundreds of jobs, regularly following advice from other professionals.
I'm starting to use AI, specifically Gemini through Google, to tailor my resumes even better to try to get in through the door. I'm noticing that I'm not getting automatic rejection letters anymore, but I'm still getting rejection letters.
At 57 years old, she's also removing details that could reveal her age.
Like remove the year that I graduated from college, because who knew that would show how old I am? remove older software that I had used in the past.
An approach career experts say is becoming more common.
Yeah, we want job seekers to be seen for their skills and experience and not their age.
That's why AARP offers resources and free courses to help candidates get themselves noticed. For example, now through the end of March, you can take their free course on artificial intelligence.
They can use it to help write their resume, write cover letters, research the different companies they may be applying to or interested in, and it can also help predict some of the questions they may get asked in an interview.
Support options Edwards will continue to use so she can soon hear you're hired.
All right, coming up, it's a rescue you have to see to believe. You're going to hear from a Florida deputy who ran toward a burning car to save the driver.
Reshaping the mind for motherhood. I'm Tina Kraus with what science is revealing about baby brain.
Watch 10 Tampa Bay this morning, starting at 5 a.m.
I was involved in a very bad car accident. Called attorney Dan Newland, and it was like 1, 2, 3. Dan really got it done for me. At the end of my case, he got me $525,000.
As one of the largest personal injury law firms in the United States, my team and I remain committed more than ever to win big on your case. Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me at 813-888-8000.
Thank you, Dan, for winning my case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. You need quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
With a fresh new look and over 60 years of keeping Floridians comfortable, Cool Today is the name to trust for fast same-day service. Cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Our friendly expert technicians take the hassle out of home repair today. And Cool Today is here for you tomorrow, too. That's why we're introducing a parts and labor warranty on select AC systems for a lifetime. For cooling, plumbing, or electrical service, get the best from today and for years to come. Cool Today.
Jeopardy is for everybody.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah.
With players just like you.
Paramedic, a retired teacher, psychiatrist.
I'm a little bit competitive.
That's the spirit.
Watch their victories.
We have a giant killer.
And heartbreaks.
Oh, no.
The next super champion could be anyone.
It's almost like a superhero origin story.
It could be you.
Oh, wow.
It's all happening on Jeopardy.
Jeopardy weeknights at 7:30, right here on 10 Tampa Bay.
10 Tampa Bay this morning. Your local news, live or on demand. Breaking news, weather impact alerts. Start with the team you trust. Watch 10 Tampa Bay this morning. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m. and streaming on 10 Tampa Bay Plus. Watch Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins weeknights on 10 Tampa Bay News.
All right, we're about to show you some incredible video of deputies pulling a man from a burning car on I-95 over on Florida's East Coast. Sydney Deschamps from our sister station in Jacksonville spoke with a sergeant who didn't hesitate to jump into harm's way.
I'm dragging him. We're dragging him. This body camera footage shows the moment a St. Johns County deputy helped save a life on I-95. It was March 1st when calls came in about multiple cars involved in a crash near International Golf Parkway.
There was an overturned vehicle near the wood line that was fully engulfed in flames, and the driver had been ejected.
That driver landing just feet from the flames. Sergeant John Floyd arrived to find his team in action. The driver was limp, in the brush yelling for help.
Move. I'm trying to get him. I saw that I had an access point where I could have gone into the woods and grabbed him. So that's when I made the decision to just run in and grab him. But yeah, he was yelling for us to help him.
Floyd and his team pulling the driver to safety as the smoke thickened, with flames igniting the surrounding bushes.
Do you think in a situation like this, you guys, saved his life?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. There's no doubt us grabbing him and dragging him out of there saved his life.
Floyd says fires aren't typically part of their training protocol. In this case, it was instinct to jump in.
I figured there was a situation that was safe enough for me to where I could grab him, so I made the decision to do it.
With 14 years on the job in St. Johns County, it's Floyd's first rescue like this.
This is the first time I've ever dragged someone from underneath a car that was, fully engulfed, and I was able to save him.
Floyd also crediting his team, saying it made all the difference.
Under a stressful situation, everyone remained calm. The communication was clear, and, I think because of that, we were able to come up with a game plan and get him out of there and save him.
Now the Florida Highway Patrol is investigating the crash. The driver is expected to be okay. I want to take a live look out at St. Pete right now. It's a gorgeous day here. But, James, I want to go back to the fire, that story for just a moment. The grass around that car started catching fire. We're so dry right now.
Yes.
That could go up so quickly. Those officers were so brave to run in there into that, because that's how a lot of the brush fires can get started whenever there's like a crash or something, a hot car like that.
Or even a car broke down on the side of the road.
I mean, so scary. But thankfully, some people got a little bit of rain yesterday.
Yeah, some people did. And it's kind of funny because it was kind of feast or famine yesterday. Either you got a lot or you got barely anything. Tampa, you got 1/100th of an inch. St. Pete, you got 2/100ths of an inch. And then you got some places like Sarasota, Bradenton got almost an inch of rain. Brooksville got over 3/4 of an inch of rain. So again, it just depends on where you were. But again, we did get some nice heavy downpours yesterday. Not expecting that coverage today, which would be nice if we could. You see there, it does look beautiful though. If you want to make it a beach day, of course, you don't want to have any heavy downpours. 81 Clearwater, 83 for Tampa. And your beach forecast for the rest of the day is going to be nice. It's going to be warm. And again, we got much lower storm chances. Look at that water temperature sitting at 70 degrees. Look at your beach weekend. You'll be in the mid-80s as we go throughout the week. Now, on the beach, that's the mid-80s. So that 87 you saw, that's if you're just a little bit inland. That is the Clearwater Airport. That is the forecast for that. But your forecast to be on the beach will be in the 80s. Look at water temperature again, 70 degrees. We're getting there. But it's going to be nice because you're looking at, again, pretty low rain chance. You're not seeing anything out there right now. Unlike yesterday, we are already starting to see that pattern fire up at this time yesterday. And you see that east-southeast flow. You have a little tiny shower there near the Bahamas, but that's not going to be a bother for us. So today, 87, mostly sunny, and the potential for a few isolated storms. Marine forecast looking great. Light chop in the Bay Seas. Look how calm that water is there. You got 1 foot. That's it. So again, your weekend's looking great. 87, 86. It's going to be a beautiful day on Sunday, and it's still going to be a nice day on Saturday because the storms that we have potentially could be late in the day. And again, I'll show you that here in just a second, and you can see where the better chance for that is today and then for tomorrow as well. We dry a little bit more Sunday into Monday. Not really much going on. Again, it'd be nice if we can put together a string of days like yesterday where you get some measurable rainfall. But you see here for this afternoon, the evening commute does look pretty good. Maybe a little bit later, we'll get 1 or 2 more, but that's going to be, again, about it today. We do up the chance, but again, late in the day tomorrow, there is your mid-afternoon. Nothing going on really along the coast for us. It's more inland, pushing across, and there it is building for late in the day. Along you see Sarasota, Bradenton could be another big winner with this one. But again, we'll see the potential for a few storms here and there a little closer to sunset than Sunday. That looks pretty good as well. And we'll see a few inland showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder through the afternoon, but there's going to be really few and far between for both Sunday and Monday. Then we have a front coming. This is going to be for the end of next week. We'll have a cold front sweeping its way across. It'll bring some showers Thursday into Friday. Coolest from the upper 80s down to about 80, 81 into next weekend, which will be a nice little break from all this heat. Again, we'll be near record highs within a degree or two all the way through Wednesday. You see there with those upper 80s. Again, low rain chances going Sunday into Monday. Better rain chances returned for the end of next week.
All right, James, thank you. A reminder, daylight saving time begins Sunday when clocks spring forward 1 hour at 2 a.m. Experts with Cleveland Clinic say that sudden shift, it can disrupt your sleep, and it can even lead to more accidents, fatigue, headaches, and irritability in the following days. But the time change does not have to ruin your sleep. doctors recommend getting some morning sunlight and avoiding naps and too much caffeine.
Which may help in that moment or for that day, but then potentially puts us at risk for having more difficulty falling asleep that night, depending on timing of when a nap or caffeine use is occurring.
The Cleveland Clinic says springing forward can be especially hard on night owls, people with chronic sleep disorders, and those who have dementia. And for those groups, it is especially important to get that light exposure in the morning. Well, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. pushing medical schools to teach more about nutrition. The secretary revealed the Trump administration has secured pledges from 53 medical schools across 31 states to require, quote, meaningful nutrition training for future doctors. The voluntary commitment means the schools will now offer at least 40 hours of nutrition education to students or an equivalent beginning this fall.
Today's announcement strengthens the doctor-patient relationship. It equips physicians to work hand-in-hand with dietitians and other health professionals. And it shifts our system toward prevention instead of perpetual prescriptions.
Now, the Trump administration says it will not dictate the curriculum, but will dedicate $5 million in federal funds to help schools that sign on. Baby brain has long been the explanation for those forgetful moments that pregnancy can bring on. Well, now researchers in Europe say the brain changes are real, and it could be a good thing for new moms. Tina Kraus has the story.
Pregnancy transforms almost every part of the body, but scientists are just starting to understand what it does to the brain.
And I noticed something when I went back to work after my firstborn, that within that working day, I felt that I was able to kind of get a lot more done, be more productive.
New research suggests there's a biological reason. Scientists in Spain scanned the brains of 127 women before, during, and after pregnancy, along with the brains of more than 50 women who had never been pregnant.
What we found in this study is that women's brain change profoundly during pregnancy, that those changes are dynamic.
Scans revealed women lost 5% of their brain's gray matter volume during pregnancy. That's the nerve-rich part of the brain that processes information, emotions, and empathy.
I know it sounds like a bad thing, but it does not necessarily needs to be a bad thing.
Professor Susana Carmona says, think of it like reshaping a tree.
In which you have a lot of branches and you start pruning some of the branches so the tree can grow up through the main one, the more important ones.
The theory is the brain may be streamlining itself, refocusing on what matters most in motherhood.
I see it as my brain making space for all of the new things that it's figuring out.
And hormones appear to play a big role. Research shows the more the brain changes, the more likely mothers are to feel content and strongly bonded with their babies. While some gray matter comes back by 6 months after birth, the brain stays focused on motherhood, showing baby brain isn't about losing your mind, but gaining perspective. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
Now, researchers also looked at a small group of same-sex couples in which both partners became mothers, but only one was pregnant. Only the pregnant partner showed those gray matter changes, pointing to pregnancy as the trigger for baby brain. All right, coming up next, many of America's earliest documents are going on tour. We'll show you the unique celebration for our country's 250th anniversary.
Watch Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins weeknights on 10 Tampa Bay News.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
I was driving when an 18-wheeler turned in front of me. I locked up my brakes, bam, slid dead into the truck. Bloody and hurt, I was loaded into an ambulance, and that's when I put out my phone and called attorney Dan Newland. Dan jumped right on it. He was in my corner the whole way. He fought the fight from beginning to end and got me $1 million.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Dan, your awesome team deserves 6 stars. Thank you for winning my case.
With a fresh new look and over 60 years of keeping Floridians comfortable, Cool Today is the name to trust for fast same-day service. Cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Our friendly expert technicians take the hassle out of home repair today. And Cool Today is here for you tomorrow, too. That's why we're introducing a parts and labor warranty on select AC systems for a lifetime. For cooling, plumbing, or electrical service, get the best from today and for years to come. Cool Today.
Jeopardy is for everybody.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah.
With players just like you.
Paramedic, a retired teacher, psychiatrist.
I'm a little bit competitive.
That's the spirit.
Watch their victories.
We have a giant killer.
And heartbreaks.
Oh, no.
The next super champion could be anyone.
It's almost like a superhero origin story.
It could be you.
Oh, wow.
It's all happening on Jeopardy.
Jeopardy weeknights at 7:30, right here on 10 Tampa Bay.
I was involved in a very bad car accident. Called attorney Dan Newland, and it was like 1, 2, 3. Dan really got it done for me. At the end of my case, he got me $525,000.
As one of the largest personal injury law firms in the United States, my team and I remain committed more than ever to win big on your case. Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me at 813-888-8000.
Thank you, Dan, for winning my case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
10 Tampa Bay this morning. Your local news, live or on demand. Breaking news, weather impact alerts. Start with the team you trust. Watch 10 Tampa Bay this morning. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m. and streaming on 10 Tampa Bay Plus. Watch 10 Tampa Bay this morning, starting at 5 a.m.
In honor of America's 250th anniversary this year, a collection of special documents from the nation's founding will go on tour starting today, visiting museums across the country, including one in Miami. Natalie Brand got an inside look at the exhibit.
Modeled after the Freedom Train, which rolled out for America's bicentennial in 1976, this year it's the Freedom Plane that will be taking off for America 250, filled with prized documents from the nation's founding. We got a sneak peek as the National Archives packed them up for a cross-country tour. Priceless papers that include the Treaty of Paris, formally ending the Revolutionary War.
Willing to bet that most people, Americans, have never seen this document.
A rare draft copy of the Constitution with handwritten notes and oaths of allegiance signed by some of the nation's founding fathers.
George Washington held this piece of paper. Benjamin Franklin, he touched this piece of paper, and now you get to see it.
Curator Jesse Krotz says these items are normally kept in vaults, but from March through August, they're traveling to museums in 8 cities from coast to coast. Houston's Museum of Natural Science is one of them.
It's a great honor.
Curator of Anthropology Dirk van Terenhout says the museum's store will turn into a secure, air-controlled exhibit for the visiting VIPs.
This is part of our history. This is who we are. This is how we are bound together over time, 2.5 centuries.
Articles of history that normally stay in the nation's capital.
It's about ensuring that this history is taught and told.
Jim Byron, senior advisor to the Archivist of the United States, says this year it has to be shared.
We have to make sure that this history is appreciated and survives for the next 250 years. And the only way to do that is to continue to inspire the current generation of Americans.
Giving them an in-person glimpse at the story of the nation's start. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
So many cool things happening this year for America's big birthday, 250th.
250. Yeah, exactly.
It's awesome.
Yep.
And today's going to be, it's nice.
Yes.
I mean, it's sunny, it's hot, it feels like summer.
It does actually. When you walk outside, you're going to notice that. And the big feeling is not the temperature, it's that humidity out there. Not summertime humidity, but just a little early for this time of year that we're feeling this muggy. But I got a good spot for you. if you wanted to cool off just a little bit.
Ooh.
There it is.
Oh, yeah, look at
Clearwater
that.
Beach.
Oh, it looks so nice out there. Water's so
It does.
calm.
It is. The water's calm. It's going to be calm all the way through the weekend. Temperatures will be in the mid-80s, and water temperature is at 70 right now. How quickly? It was just last month that water temperature was 58. And so, yeah,
Oh my gosh.
it helps to have some nice warm weather. So you're 82 out there right now. Picking up the kids from school, you'll be in the mid-80s, small chance for a stray shower. And again, this evening, the Rays are in town. It's funny to say they're in town visiting to play the Yankees in their spring training game. 82 at 6 p.m. First pitch is at 6:30. And again, very low rain chances. So it should be a nice evening.
All right, thanks for watching. You can stream with us anytime on our free 10 Tampa Bay News app.